everybody. How are you tonight? Whoa, it's good to have you here. It is super roasty here. Um, I decided about an hour ago while Bob was cooking dinner on the barbecue outside, I would go sit outside on the deck in the sun. It's 101. Like, feels like that. And this redhead is very stereotypical of being in the sunshine. It didn't take more than 10 minutes for me to get nice pink already. So, yeah, I sat out there for about 15 minutes and went inside and went, oh goodness, got yourself a little rosy chest. Not too bad, not too bad. I mean, I was notorious when I was a kid for getting sunburned, but I'm very careful about it now, but I just wanted to sit. It felt so nice to soak up the sun, and it was really, even though it was so hot, it felt really comfortable for a short amount of time. Yes, so here we are, everybody. Hi, Linda, and Larry's here. And yes, I had my crabbies with dinner. So that was good. That's a little leftover for it. And Gail's here. Yay. Nice to have you here, everybody. Thank you for being here, everybody. And Angel here. Angie, it's nice to have you here. Thank you for coming in and all that kind of stuff. I was burned and got sick from the sun. I understand. Yes, I have blistered the tops of my ears. I burned the bottom of my feet. I've blistered the tops of my feet. I've burned my hair part. I've got myself back of my legs burned so bad one time that I kind of passed out during a singing rehearsal. Oh yeah, and not good, not good. I used to crispy up really good, and now I know better than that. But I still. I'm one of those people that I keep sunscreen in the car with me because even driving, I will burn the backs of my hands. Even I used to have about a 40-minute drive home from where I taught, and then it got and I would the tops of my hands would get burned on sunny days. Yep, not so fun. I got second degrees. Stay out of the sun. I just fry. I never tan. Yeah, the only way I tan is if all the freckles like blend together, and that hasn't happened yet. I don't tan. I just burn and then fade. No in between. Both of my daughters got their their dad's genes. Bob got so dark one summer working. He was either working fishing. It was before I met him, or he was working painting, doing roofing or something like that. Anyway, his student buddy card, and this was just the same year I met him, 1974 when I met him at the UW. You used to get pictures. And his student buddy card has a picture of him, and he has a big curly dark hair afro on his mustache. He got so dark that he was actually approached and asked to join the Black Student Union at the University of Washington. The guys at the IMA playing basketball one day asked him if he wanted to join. And he said he was really be honored, but he wasn't black. And they had a hard time believing it. But it's true, and you see the picture on his student buddy card. It's something else. See, so both my daughters, and Bryn is like white hair, blonde hair, blue eyes, and she can tan, and Annalena just gets this gorgeous golden tan, even though she's got a little bit of red in her hair. Yeah, they got their dad's skin with that. Oh well. Anyway, and oh wait, this is Angie on Larry's phone. Angie on Larry's phone. Oh my goodness. Funny, Angie. I was wondering. Oh, I love it. So I don't know about you guys today, but I am glad it's Friday. I am glad I got through. I had so many things that needed to get done today. And thank goodness Bob was right there and helped me through, because some of them were tough things. They were like talking about getting a certain kind of, from my original plane flight for Emirates that had to be refunded when I got my new one because it was the time ones, which was fine. Emirates was really good about it. There was no problem. But the kind of steps that had to go through it are not the things that I do very well. And I screwed it up the first 2 times. Finally got on the phone with Emirates. They talked me through it, got it in there, got that done, got travel insurance, which is not just travel insurance. As Bob said, this is not travel insurance. So if your plane is canceled, your flight's canceled, or if you lose your baggage. My kind of travel insurance that I have to get for Botswana is like if a rhinoceros steps on my foot and I have to be airlifted. That's how he described it, and I was like, oh, okay. So this was a little bit more, and so it was pretty involved and not cheap, but got that taken care of, got that done. I got my, some things came in the mail. My new paper came in back. Glazer's got it here instantly. Several other things that needed to get checked off the list and done and taken care of. And I made an appointment to get my malaria and typhoid vaccines. Yeah, those aren't easy to just snap in and get done. You have to go to the health department and get a appointment ahead of time, and there's certain kinds of vaccines for certain areas of where you're going. Oh well, it'll be worth it. It will be worth it, and you'll hear all about it when I do come back. But for now, I'm just glad it's Friday and I got stuff done. I got everything done but doing my art. But yeah, I got the tasks that needed to be done out of the way, and then I have this evening after this to just take a deep breath and go play with some paints and new stuff that I have in my new infrared camera. Anyway, tonight, you're so confused. Okay, here I am on the correct phone. Phew! Larry's slaving to get food. I'm sitting in the car with the dog and the air conditioning. Yes. The concept of being retired. I think you're busier than when you worked. People tell me that oftentimes, Gail, that I don't understand the concept of retired. They're like, really? Really? Yeah. But it will happen. Boo-boo. Travel vaccines, health department, or the travel vaccine nurse. You have to call the health department, and then they have a spot you have to go to. And when you're going to, if you've traveled before, you probably know this, but there's different kinds of vaccines for different areas of different countries. And so you have to kind of match up. You have to tell them where you're going and what you're going to be doing and, and how long. Anyway. Let the crabbies take me away. Yes. So I'm glad I got the things done. They've been on my mind for a couple of weeks, been weighing on me, and I've been putting them off. I'm not the best with this kind of stuff. So, but I did find a book that I really, really, really I'm excited to bring to you, because I am we had the whales out here, the orcas, the other day, and I have always been a big fan of Northwest Coast Indian art, and the from all the different tribes you can tell a piece of art, what tribe it's from, by different shapes that they use within the totems or within their drawings and stuff like this, the older kinds. And it ranges all the way from southern Oregon coast all the way up through Alaska, and each tribe has its own distinct things, and they're just amazing stories, and I always love all of these stories. And the one I have today is called Orca Chief, and oh my gosh. And it was, when I started looking into who wrote this, the co-author illustrators of this book, I was like, oh, no wonder it stood out so much. So first off, here is the screen. This is the second person on the list of author illustrator, Robert Lucky Budd, and this web page is from Strong Nations. I couldn't find his own web page just himself, but Strong Nations is a Canadian publishing service and that works with First Nation authors and illustrators. And so Robert Lucky Budd holds an MA in history and has digitized many high-profile oral history collections, including that of Nigsa's First Nation. He's the author of Voices of British Columbia, a bestseller which was shortlisted in the 2011 Bill Duthie Bookseller's Choice Award, and its sequel, Echoes of British Columbia. In 2013, Budd co-authored Raven Brings the Light with Roy Henry Vickers, who contributed 19 original pieces into the book, and the book became a national bestseller in Canada. They collaborated again in 2014 on the book Cloudwalker, in 2015 on the book Orca Chief, which is what we're reading tonight, and in 2016 on the book Peace Dancer. And I actually managed to find those other books also on Libby to check out for the library, so I'm going to bring those in on another night, maybe tomorrow night. I'm still waiting for my Sendak books to all come in there. Some are on hold, so I don't want to start my Sendak series until I get all the books in. Anyway, so the first 3 books together were each shortlisted for that Choice Award, and Orca Chief was also the winner of the Moonbeam Spirit Award for Preservation and nominated for the Elizabeth Mrazek Cleaver Award and Christy Harris Illustrated Children's Literature Prize. And all 4 books have been national bestsellers and referred to as the Northwest Coast Legends series. I'm excited for that. Now, he lives in Victoria, BC, on Vancouver Island. The other author, Roy Henry Vickers, is probably the artist with the book too, but also is the person who retold the story. Roy Henry Vickers lives in Tofino, Tofino is up island, is up on Vancouver, on the northern part of Vancouver Island. I wonder if I can find a map of Vancouver Island. Map of Vancouver Island, Canada. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Here, see if that shows a bigger one. Port Hardy, Tofino. See if it shows. So Campbell River right here. There it is. Here, okay. So Campbell River, see that one right there? That's where I used to go across to this island over here every year for vacation. Bob used to go, I guess, in here. Tofino is on the west side of Vancouver Island. So Victoria's here, Tofino's here, Telegraph Cove, Alert Bay, Port Hardy, up in this area. You get up into the Queen Charlotte's and up into Haida Gwaii, up on this area. But when I was little, from Campbell River up to Port Hardy was a dirt road, and so was going across to Tofino. But it's actually quite accessible now, and there's been a lot more thing. I've been up to Telegraph Cove and Alert Bay when I was younger by boat. But so that's Vancouver Island. So Vickers lives in Tofino, and that's where his gallery is. The author lives in Victoria. Boom. There we go. So let's go to Vickers Gallery. let's see some things about him. His biography. He's best known around the world for his limited edition prints. He's also an accomplished carver, designer, advisor of prestigious public spaces, and sought after keynote speaker and publisher and author of several successful books. In addition, he's recognized leader in the First Nation community and a tireless spokesperson for recovery from addictions and abuse. He's received many awards and honors for his art and community involvement. Among them are a hereditary chieftainship and several hereditary names he has received from Northwest Coast First Nations. In 1994, Maclean's magazine included Roy as the first artist ever in its annual honor roll of Extraordinary Canadian Achievers. And in 1998, the province of British Columbia appointed Roy to the prestigious Order of BC, and in 2003, he received the Queen's Golden Jubilee Medal. He started his gallery up there. His work can be found in public and private. He started his gallery back in 1986, I think. Let's see. Artist-owned gallery in Tofino, British Columbia, and he actually built the building himself. And it's open, free to the public all year round, built in 1986 with the help of Roy's family and legendary carver Henry Nola. Oh, the gallery welcomes more than 500,000 visitors each year from all around the world. That's on my bucket list as a place to go. So these two are the author and illustrators of the book that I'm sharing today, and it's called Orca Chief. Yeah. Really exciting. There we go. And whoopsie, sorry, my camera just fell over. Whoa, it's live. There we go. Yes, Sendak's coming. Don't worry, Linda. Sendak is coming. Anyway, so the artwork of First Nation and all the coastal natives is very, it's very unique, and it's very style. It has a certain style, and it also has some really kind of cool rules to it that help to make it go the way it does. I studied Northwest Coast Indian art in college under Bill Holm, and he was the curator at the Burke Museum at the University of Washington until he passed. And he was well known among all the coastal tribes as one of the biggest proponents of their artwork. And he curated one of the largest collections, and wrote a book called Northwest Coast Indian Art, and it's been republished multiple times and is just a classic in the study of that art form. So that's what I'm going to do. And so today we get to hear this legend called Orca Chief. It's by Roy. I love, look at the salmon, or actually those aren't salmon. That's not a salmon, that's a whale. That's a whale configuration. Let me drop that brightness down so you can actually see it better. That's a whale, so the ovoid and the fin. Oh, look at that. Oh. So the author's note, he says, this story was told to me by a man whom I called Ya'a Spencer. Ya'a in our language means grandpa. His first name was actually Kenneth, and he was related to my great-grandmother, who was born as Spencer. In 1974, I completed my art education Exxon in Hazelton and headed home to Kitkatla for a visit. I took some time getting in touch with the water and the land around my hometown. I liked to leave the village for a couple of days in a canoe with no food and no water, just a rifle, a fishing rod, and a local dog that wanted to come along. One day, on my return from such a trip, Ya'a Spencer invited me over for a visit. He was blind, but he could see me with his vision. We went into his room where he had a wall full of books. And he said, I can't read those books anymore. I read all those books, and in all those books, there was not one story like the story I'm going to tell you. He asked me to sit down, and he began to tell me the story of the Orca Chief. He said, the story belongs to your grandmother's family, and one day you will be able to tell it to the people. It is an honor to take my place in a line of storytellers and share my version of Orca Chief. Roy Henry Vickers, Hazelton, BC, 2014. So Prince Rupert is toward where this is going to take us, toward the northern end of, I believe, of Vancouver Island. Kitkatla is a small village near Prince Rupert on the northwest coast of British Columbia. My people have lived there continuously for over 5,000 years, and this is one of our old stories, handed down for generations. In the old days, 4 men set out from Kitkatla to paddle to their food gathering place known today as the Estevan Group. It was spring, the time to gather seaweed and fish for sockeye salmon. It was a long paddle, and when the men arrived, they wanted to drop their anchor and sleep. In those days, an anchor was a big heavy rock with a hole carved through it, and a cedar bark rope tied through the hole. The men were so sleepy, they just threw the anchor over the side. They didn't say a prayer. They didn't ask that the anchor find a safe place to land on the bottom of the ocean. Look at, if you can see here, the outline of the whale. Done in the native style. And look at, oh, the whale fins. I have whale fins in my backyard. Well, that anchor did not land quietly on the ocean floor. It landed on the roof of the underwater house belonging to the chief of all the orca. The anchor made such a loud bang that Orca Chief said to one of his helpers, a little ratfish, swim up and find out who is up there and why they dropped a rock on my house. The longhouse. So Ratfish went up to the ocean surface and he saw the canoe. Curious, he swam around and around with his tail slapping the sides of the boat. The noise woke the sleeping men, and one grumpy hunter reached over and grabbed Ratfish, pulled his fins off, and threw him back in the water. Poor little Ratfish swam back down and told Orca Chief about the bad people on the surface. Orca Chief became very angry. He sent 2 of his best warriors to the surface, telling them, "Bring those people down to my house." So the 2 orcas swam around and around and around and around, faster and faster and faster and faster, until they caused an enormous whirlpool that sucked the canoe right down, down, down to the bottom of the sea and through the door of the big house belonging to the Orca Chief. Then all was quiet. The canoe with the 4 surprised men in it sat on the floor of the big house. Orca Chief looked at the men and asked, "Why would you drop your anchor on my roof? You should act with more respect in this world." The men were scared of the fierce-looking whale, and they started crying. They begged the chief, "Please have pity on us. We were tired. Yes, we were disrespectful. We are so sorry. We didn't know you had a house down here. We will learn to be more careful. We will learn." The Orca Chief, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. With the palms. Oh. Orca Chief was kind, so he asked 2 of his best hunters to take these men and show them the ocean. He said, "Show them all the food, even the little sea cucumbers that move slowly on the ocean floor. Tell them what is good to eat." More importantly, he instructed the men, "Always give thanks to those that are going to become your food." Then the orca hunters took the men on an adventure and showed them all the beautiful things as they traveled through the undersea world. Now this page, hang on. I have to zoom out for you guys for this. Oops, not that one. So you can see this whole page. There you go. Look at that. That is just amazing. All the different creatures. An eel, a salmon, a ray, a dogfish. It's a kind of sort of little shark type thing. The scallops, the crabs, a flounder, or a cod. It could be a, yeah, flounder. Rock cod. The little shrimp that we have. All the different kinds. Oh, an octopus. Oh, no, a jellyfish. Oh, and the blue and the gray whales, the different kind of whale. The seaweed. All of these different things. There's the octopus right there. Starfish, the sunfish that we have. Oh, all these kind of animals that we have. Look at. Back to this. The whales showed the men that when the tides stop coming in and start going out, everything slows down. This is the best time to catch halibut, lingcod, and red snapper. Then the orca took the men to an island with a shallow bay shaped like a saucer, with a creek flowing into it, and they saw how that many huge, beautiful crabs followed the tide. The men took their paddles, held them out to the crabs, and the crabs bit the paddles, and the men lifted them into the canoe and gave thanks. The orca then brought the men to the place where the Skeena River meets the Pacific Ocean and showed them where the Ulichan come in the spring. The orca explained, "You can also call these candlefish because they are caught and dried. You can light them on fire. They are so rich with oil." The oil would become an important part of the diet of the people and so valuable that they would trade it all over the world. Beyond, the men could see a pod of humpbacks working as a team, surrounding a school of herring. The whales swam in a circle and blew bubbles, and keeping the thousands of fish together. As they swam around and around, the circle got smaller and smaller, and the herring were forced closer together into a shiny silver ball. When the wise female of the group decided it was time, she let out a loud call which blew bubbles underneath the herring, forcing them to the surface. It was as if she was saying, "Okay, come and get it." She was the oldest mother, and it was her job to make sure her family had enough to eat. At her call, the whales swam under and scooped up the herring in their open mouths. As the men watched this family, they remembered their own mothers calling them for dinner, and they smiled as they imagined the hugs that they would share once they returned to the village. The humpbacks. That was a humpback. That one's the humpback. I had it wrong. That's the humpback. This must be the gray whale. After many more lessons, the Kitkatla men were taken back to the surface. Much time had passed, and it was now the middle of summer. The men sang songs and paddled with a new respect for all that lived below the surface. As they traveled through a wide channel between two islands, they heard loud squeals and saw their friends coming to say goodbye. Those were the whales. 10 orca clans came to celebrate, playing and jumping out of the water, bringing their children to show them the majesty of the world above. In the middle of this joyful gathering, the men remembered that they had promised to bring back food to their village. They had been gone a very long time, but their canoe was still empty. So they decided to try out what they had learned. They remembered that whenever the orca approached, all the fish would scatter and hide. They paddled their canoe away from the orca toward a large kelp bed near the rocks. The kelp were as tall as trees and firmly anchored to the bottom. The men cast out their net and waited with great excitement. They knew the fish would hide in the kelp forest away from the dancing, splashing orca. Suddenly, whoosh, the whole net went under the water. When they pulled the net in, it was full of fish. The net. The men paddled home, with lessons to share and a boat full of sockeye for everyone, and the whole village gave thanks. Yay! This kind of work on this artwork is called cross-hatching, and there are primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors that are used. Black and red are generally the primary colors, depends on how they're used, and then the tertiary colors sometimes are based on what kind of plants they had, that particular tribe had, or type of things to make different colors. Some tribes had plants that would make yellow, some had that would make green, and they all have different placements that they go. But this crotch hatching is a specific kind, and this eye shape is called an ovoid, and this is an ovoid too, and they go in certain spots. It's just a fascinating art form, really fascinating. Oh, and look at, show this page. I didn't show this one. They huddled home and lessons to share in a boat full of sockeye for everyone, and a whole village gave thanks. And if you can just barely see, and you can't, I don't think you guys, there in the light, in the shadow, there. You can see the shadow of the orca on the island. Yes. Oh my goodness. So if you ever make it to the West Coast and you're going to Canada, there are a couple places that you should try to get to. One would be to this guy's museum in Tofino, would be just his gallery. But there's also in Vancouver, British Columbia, there's a place called the Museum of Man, and it has one of the oldest totems that is still in existence and preserved in the museum, and they have artifacts and glorious things. But if you're in Seattle and you can make it to the Burke Museum and see their Northwest Coast art, or go out to Discovery Island and go see the longhouse that is done by the Duwamish tribe here, it's pretty amazing to see those type of things. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I love the sunset. His artwork is just something else. Paintings. Oh my goodness. So I will just pull up his screen share again. Here's some of his paintings, some of his original pieces. This one's sold out. That's a painting of a button blanket, 5,000. This one's 20,000, 40,000, 8,000. 8,000, the homecoming, 18,000, and the loon painting, 15,000. Oh my goodness. Original prints. Those are paintings, original prints. Come on. So the paintings, original paintings sell obviously anywhere from like $8,000 to $40,000. The prints, original prints, they're still so beautiful. Oh, look at that damselfly. You guys, look at that, how it's done. How cool is that? And the sunsets. That was a consignment. Eagle nest, a frog. Wow, really beautiful work. Another mayfly, pages of them. And then he has reproductions, posters, framed lithographs, laminate mount. Oh, yeah, very cool. Orca sunset poster, Prospect Lake. Oh, wow. Seawash. Oh, Seawash Rock. I think I know where that is. Interesting. Makes me want to go. Oh, and there's the cover for Orca Rising poster. That is the cover of Orca Chief. That one was used as the cover for Orca Chief. Very cool. Yeah. Wonderful book. I love these legends and what they tell, and just that whole telling of the respect for the land and how they learned and whatnot. There's just so many of those all up and down the coast. Of course, every culture has some legends like this, but being from the Northwest, I kind of like these. And besides bears and the orcas and bears, that kind of speak to your girl's heart here. Anyway. Oh, it's flooding here. So much rain. Yeah. May not have service in a few. Okay, back on the road. You guys, off to the property. Have fun. Take care. Stay cool. Stick your toes in the water. And his artwork is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, the sunsets. It just really, really. Well, so I didn't get my homework done for lab 3, 4, and lab 5. So I'm gonna just hang on and not give you lab 6 today because we're skipping a day. It's Free Friday. Free for all Friday. That's what I'm calling it. Free Friday. I've just given myself a break on this one. Yeah, I just decided I want to catch up and do those and sit down and have some fun with those other ones. So, yikes, yes. Artwork's so cool. So you guys, that's it for tonight for stories. I just was going to read just the one. I'm going to read some more from these two of that series that they have, and they're all really beautiful. I haven't decided which one or all, but I like the way that I can share the book, and if their other ones are laid out like this, that has the one picture on one page and then the words on the other one. It makes it it's nice. But the other ones I got in Libby, so I can show them in my iPad and you can see a little more. But I hope you guys are ready to start your weekend and have a great time. I'm going to get my photographs matted and get the rest of the stuff I need to do for artwork walk done, because I've got all my tasks, other things done, and I have a new toy to play with. I got my infrared camera in today, and so I'm going to play with it. Yay! We'll see how that goes. Yes, Scott Odell is a good author. Yeah. Oh, author. Yeah, Island of the Blue Dolphins. Yes, that was one of the one I read at a very young age. It was quite the book. And then the other one, what was the other book that he did later on? What was the other book he did? Island of the Blue Dolphins, and then he did Zia. He did Black Pearl, Black Star, Bright Dawn. My name is Angelica. Streams, rivers. Streams to the rivers, rivers to the sea. Sing down the moon. Thunder rolling in the mountains. Yeah, all chapter books. Lots of beautiful chapter books. The King's Fifth, Newberry on Child of Fire, and then was it The Captive? No, I can't remember another one. But yeah, I read those when I was young. I loved them. They were some of my favorites. So, hey, let's see. Hi, Mamadou. It's nice to have you here. I have been having some goofy times with my email today. So I'll check on that, Linda, and I'll bring it up tomorrow. But my email kept expanding really big, and then I had to finally just walk away from that. So I only got through a couple bits today. So I wonder if I got it. And see, it did it again. Oh, mail quit. I can't see what happens if I open my mail. It's zapping out my other screen, so then I can't see. So I have to reset something. I have to figure out why it's misbehaving. So I'll look and let you know if I got it. Anyway, I think I responded to someone's. No, that was Julia. Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna let you go because I'm babbling now, and it's getting warm in here because I turned the air conditioner off so it wouldn't be hot. I mean, wouldn't be on and noisy while I was recording or doing this live. But that's making it toasty warm. It's picking up. And I want to turn the air conditioner back on. So everybody, you guys, take care and have a great evening. And I'll see you tomorrow night. And until then, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. And I'll see you next time.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sound.
Amadoulis, I'm glad you made it here. Thanks, Mary.
We won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard. They're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards. I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous.
Yay!
You blow my mind, looking like a model.
Is today your birthday? Yo, Linda, happy birthday.
Typical, I put you on a pedestal. There's not just stars on the boulevard. They're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards. I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous.
Dance time. Birthday dance.
We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous.